Dear friends and followers, welcome back to my channel with yet another travel video. Today we will go to Madhya Pradesh. We will cover historical places such as Khajuraho, take a boat cruise through the famous marble rocks, and also three forests which are Pench, Bandhavgarh and Kanha. You will experience how it feels like spending a night in a cottage near the forest. In Bandhavgarh, we also saw tigers right in front of our jeep. It is a thrilling, lifetime experience. I will also give away some useful tips for sighting tigers in the open forest. I will answer your questions such as how to reach, where to stay, how much will it cost, how to book forest safaris. For this information, please watch my entire video till the end. If you are new to my channel, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Trotter, and do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you get to see all my upcoming travel videos. Let's have a look at the itinerary. Let me tell you that the forests are always away from locality and hence away from important railway stations and airports. Hence, it might be challenging to reach unless you follow my route. If you follow my tour plan, you will be able to cover Nagpur, Pench, Bandhavgarh, Kanha, Jabalpur and Khajuraho, all in just 7 days. I started by reaching Nagpur airport. It is an important airport with direct flights from many cities. Let's get into the details of the route. Day 1. Today, reach Nagpur by train or flight. Try to reach early in the morning. After reaching, start off towards Pench Tiger Reserve. You will have to book a car in advance. The car will pick you up from Nagpur and go to Pench, and on day 2, the same car will drop you at Nagpur railway station. The journey from Nagpur to Pench takes about 2.5 hours. Have lunch on the way, check into your hotel at Pench, night stay at Pench. Day 2. Start off with an early morning safari into the Pench forest. You will come across deers, different kinds of birds, and if you are lucky, tiger as well. I saw a tiger in the open jungle for the first time here. Ask your hotel to pack your breakfast. You can have breakfast in the forest later on. Return to your hotel after the safari. Have lunch and check out. Start off for Nagpur. On this day, you can do some sightseeing at Nagpur. Visit Dragon Palace Temple, Swaminarayan Temple and finally Sri Ganesh Temple in a place called Tekri. Tekri is a place near to Nagpur railway station. You have to take the Secunderabad-Danapur Superfast Express at 6:25 p.m. from Nagpur to Satna. You have to make the reservations well in advance. Day 3. Today you will reach Satna Junction in the morning at 5:45 a.m. Today you need to go to Khajuraho. I would suggest that you book a car for the entire part of the remaining trip because the trip will involve considerable amount of road travel. This car should pick you up from Satna railway station on day 3 and drop you at Jabalpur station on day 7. The journey from Satna to the historical town of Khajuraho takes about 3 hours. Visit all the historical temples in Khajuraho on this day. Night stay at Khajuraho. Day 4. Check out of your hotel at Khajuraho and start for Bandhavgarh. It is one of the best forests to see tigers in India. The journey takes about 5 to 6 hours. Hence, start off after breakfast. Night stay at Bandhavgarh. On day 5, do an early morning safari in Bandhavgarh. I will tell you the safari tips and about the different zones at the end of this video. Once you are back from the safari, check out of your hotel and start off for Kanha forest. The journey from Bandhavgarh to Kanha takes about 5 hours. Check into your hotel and relax for the rest of the day. On day 6, take the first safari into Kanha forest. You will come across a number of wild animals, birds, and if you are lucky, you may see tigers as well. We saw fresh pug marks of tigers here. After returning from the safari, check out of your hotel and start off for Jabalpur. The journey takes about 3 hours only. On your way, visit Bargi Dam. Night stay at Jabalpur. On day 7, you should start off for Jabalpur sightseeing. Go straight to Bhedaghat and take the boat cruise through the marble rocks. While returning, visit Dhuadhar waterfalls. You will find a ropeway here as well. You may take a ride in it. After that, visit Madan Mahal Fort. You can get a bird's eye view of the city from the top of the fort. Then go to Kachnar City Shiv Temple. Finally reach your hotel to get refreshed. Check out and go to the Jabalpur station or airport for returning. You can also take a train to Nagpur and take a flight from there if you find it convenient. I personally took a train to Nagpur and took a flight from there. Now that you have a detailed tour plan or itinerary, let's get into the details of sightseeing. On day 1, you should arrive at Nagpur. Book a car in advance that will pick you up from Nagpur airport or railway station and go to Pench. A reserved small car will cost anything about 3,500 rupees per day. Take NH44 and you can cover the entire 117 km distance in only 2.5 hours. Have lunch on the way. Check into your hotel at Pench. I would suggest you book the government hotels from the official website of MP Tourism. The hotel at Pench is close to the forest entry point and offers a remarkable stay. The hotel cost for a day usually covers dinner for the day of arrival, evening snacks, tea, coffee, and breakfast and lunch for the day of checkout. This is required because you will not get restaurants there given the location. Also, the quality of food, services, and facility is remarkable. Hand over your ID proofs and safari booking to the reception and let them know that you will be taking the first morning safari into the forest the next day. You may book the safari from the hotel reception as well, since the hotel is run by the government. Book the safari vehicle from the hotel reception, even though you might have booked the safari permit beforehand. Always prefer to take the first morning safari, as chance of spotting wild animals is high. Enjoy the evening in the hotel premises. It is advised not to go outside the hotel premises at night, as it is close to the forest gate. Stay safely inside the hotel. Night stay at Pench. Day 2 started very early. The gypsy car for forest safari had come to pick us up from our hotel at 6 am. We were ready by then. The driver will take you to the forest entry gate. From there, a guide will be allotted to you. Carry safari booking related papers and ID proofs with you. Here are some useful tips and information for safari booking. There are 2 slots of doing the safari. I would always recommend you to do the morning safari as chances of spotting wild animals is high. Safari is closed from July to September as the roads inside the forest are muddy after the monsoon. Always do safari in a core zone. We entered the Toria zone, which is very close to the government hotel in which we stayed. I saw a tiger in the open for the first time here. You may book the safari permits in advance through travel agents or through the official government website, which is forest.mponline.gov.in. I would recommend you to book the permits in advance. You may have a look at the costs as on date. Please note that maximum 6 persons, excluding the guide and driver, are allowed in a vehicle on one permit. Children up to 5 years of age are exempted from entry fee. Taking a guide is mandatory. You may take a G1 or G2 guide. You cannot pre-book the vehicle. The vehicle can be hired from the hotel reception itself. The cost of the permit does not include guide and vehicle charges. The guide shall be available at the entry points. Safari charges are less in buffer zone, but I would suggest you to do the safari in core zones such as Toria if you intend to experience the wilderness of Pench. Early mornings can be cold, specifically in safari jeeps which do not have hoods. Carry mufflers if you want. Those who love forests go to forests to experience the wilderness, the sights, sounds, and smells the jungle has to offer. Spotting wildlife is an added icing on the cake and should not be an expectation. Remember, we are in the land of the wild animals, and it is up to them whether they want to turn up in front of us. Wear dull clothes, be quiet, or speak very softly, and do not wear perfumes. These can deter wild animals from turning up. Also, never tease wild animals. Also, let's listen to the sounds and calls of animals. Each one has its own meaning. Call of peacocks, barking deer can indicate presence of tigers nearby. Also notice that monkeys and deers usually stay together and warn each other by calling. Try to understand how to track trails of wild animals, such as pug marks or scratch marks on tree barks. The guide should explain these to you in more details. I personally love jungles and nature and wildlife. Hence, I have visited almost all the jungles in India, but jungles in Madhya Pradesh deserve special mention, always. I saw deers, eagles and different kinds of ducks, wild boar, and most importantly, a tiger. This is the first time I saw a tiger in the open with no barrier between me and the tiger. But do not worry, wild animals in National Park are usually safe and do not attack tourists. We came back to the hotel and had lunch. we checked out and started off for Nagpur. We will have to catch the evening train to Satna from Nagpur tonight. Today, you should have some time to do a basic round of sightseeing at Nagpur. Visit Dragon Temple, Swami Narayan Temple, and finally Sri Ganesh Temple in a place called Tekri. Photography is not permitted inside the Swami Narayan Temple. Tekri is a place which is very near to the Nagpur railway station. You have to take the Secunderabad-Danapur Superfast Express at 6:25 p.m. from Nagpur to Satna. On day 3, you will reach Satna station at 5:45 a.m. in the morning. You should pre-book a car that will pick you up from Satna station on day 3 and drop you at Jabalpur station or airport on day 7. Go straight to Khajuraho. The journey will take only 2 to 3 hours. Check into your hotel and get refreshed and start off for sightseeing. In Khajuraho, the temples are clustered into 3 groups. You will find the details of the temple clusters and entry fees here. There are a few good hotels right in front of the western group of temples. We stayed in one of those. Complete the tour of the western group of temples first. Legend has it that there were 2 golden date palm trees at the entrance of the temple in ancient times. In Sanskrit, Kharjur means date palm and Vahak means bearer. That's how Khajuraho got its name. Most of the temples were built by the Chandela dynasty between 885 AD and 1050 AD. Hence, these temples are more than 1000 years old. Most of these were built by sandstone on a foundation of granite, which is usually concealed. You will find temples of Vaishnavism and Shaivism school of Hinduism and Jainism. The artisans did not use mortar and the temples were sculpted from stone. The fine art at the temples and the history behind those led Khajuraho to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. After visiting the western group of temples, go to your hotel and have lunch and get refreshed. In the afternoon, start off for touring the eastern and southern group of temples at Khajuraho. You may watch the light and sound show in the evening as well in the western group of temples. Today's tour should be relaxing. Go to sleep early and re-energize for day 4. On day 4, start off for Bandhavgarh after breakfast. The journey takes close to 5 hours and it is very enjoyable. The road goes through the Panna forest for a short stretch. We stayed in a private resort near the Tala zone of Bandhavgarh. The resort has small cottages and offers an experience of staying in the wilderness of a forest. Sometimes, you may find deers in the park of the resort. Go to the Forest Safari booking center nearby and book the vehicle for your early morning safari the next day. Mention the hotel you are staying so that the gypsy can pick you up from there. Enjoy the evening in your hotel. On day 5, be ready for the safari by early morning. We were all ready and started off for the safari at 6 am. Make sure you reach the forest entry checkpost in time. We entered the Tala zone. I would strongly recommend you to do the safari in core zones. Elephant safari is also available at the national parks, but I prefer jeep safaris as I wish to cover a larger part of the forest in the limited safari time. You will find some useful safari related information here. You may pre-book your safari permits in advance through the official government website, which is forest.mponline.com. Our allotted zone was Khitauli initially, but there were reports of elephants rampaging that zone the previous day. Hence, the forest checkpost diverted tourists to another core zone. Bandhavgarh has one of the highest tiger density among all the other forests in India. Legend has it that Lord Ram gave the fort to his brother Lakshman to keep a watch on Lanka here. That's how Bandhavgarh got its name. Bandhav means brother and Garh means fort. Incidentally, there is a fort here. Bandhavgarh is the home to 34 species of mammals, 260 types of birds, 70 odd types of butterflies, and most importantly, tigers and leopards. We saw peacocks, deers, gaurs, vervet monkeys, and most importantly 4 tiger cubs. Out of all the 10 jungles that I have visited till date across India, Bandhavgarh will probably be the most memorable experience ever. We returned to the hotel and had lunch and checked out for our next destination, which is Kanha forest. We reached Kanha in about 5 hours. We checked into a private hotel very near to the forest gate. In the afternoon, we went to the forest safari booking counter to book safari jeeps for the next morning. Day 6 started with a cold, misty morning. We went to the forest entry gate, which was walkable from our hotel. The jeep and guide were allotted to us and we started off for the safari. The forest has Royal Bengal tigers, leopards, sloth bears, Barasingha deers and dhole. We saw a cattle egret, crested serpent eagle, gaur, black buck, Indian roller, owlet, woodpecker, vulture, steppe eagle, sandpiper, rosy minivet, rare female Barasingha, etc. We also saw pug marks of both a tiger and a tigress. We also saw scratch marks on tree trunks. Usually, tigers mark their territory by putting scratch marks on tree trunks. After the safari, we reached our hotel to have lunch. We started off for Jabalpur. On our way, we visited Bargi Dam. You may do a short cruise in the dam if you want. We checked into our hotel in the evening. It takes about 5 hours to reach Jabalpur from Kanha. Relax for the rest of the day at Jabalpur. Start day 7 with a plan to do a quick sightseeing of the city of Jabalpur. Go straight to Bhedaghat and do a short boat cruise through the Narmada river with a valley of marble rocks on both sides. The rocks rise close to 100 feet on both sides. The cruise is especially enjoyable on full moon nights as the moonlight makes the white marble look even more magical. I took a ride in the day because I had to return that evening and had to complete the tour. If you can afford to stay one more day and extend the tour to 8 days, I would suggest that you plan your tour such that day 7 falls on a full moon night. The sailor of the boat will act as a guide throughout the short cruise of about 40 minutes. After the cruise, go to Dhuandhar waterfalls. Dhuandhar literally means smoky waterfall because of the appearance of the waterfall. The Narmada river plunges nearly 30 meters to the Marble Rock Valley at Bhedaghat here. This plunge creates a mist of water vapor and hence the name. You can visit between 6 am and 8 pm. There is a ropeway here as well. You may buy tickets and take the ride to the other bank on the opposite side of the waterfall if you wish. After Dhuandhar waterfalls, go to Rani Durgavati Fort, which is also known as Madan Mahal Palace. It was built in the 11th century and hence it's about 1000 years old. The fort is open to visitors from 8 am till 6 pm. You have to go up a small hill with steps. It can be an energy demanding exercise. From the top, you will get a bird's eye view of the city of Jabalpur. You can also see a very large rock on a small base. It's called the Balancing Rock. The fort is on the top of a hill at a height of about 500 meters. A major part of the fort is on a rock. After Madan Mahal Palace, reach Kachnar City Shiv Temple. You will find a huge 76 feet tall idol of Lord Shiva here. You may enter the base of the idol. You will find replicas of some of the 12 Jyotirlingas in small caverns in the base of the idol. There is a statue of Nandi here as well. You will also enjoy the garden surrounding the statue. That concludes the short sightseeing tour at Jabalpur. After the sightseeing, you may catch a train or a flight from Jabalpur for returning. I took the Jabalpur-Nagpur Superfast Express to reach Nagpur the next morning and took a morning flight out from Nagpur as it is a major airport with good connectivity. Now that you have a good idea about the itinerary, it's time for some useful vacationers info. This trip involves safari in some of the best tiger reserves in the country. So let's start with the jungle safari tips first. Friends, always prefer early morning safari. The chance of spotting wildlife is higher in morning safaris. Animals come out in the sun and sometimes come near water bodies or salt lakes. Also, you can use the afternoon to travel to your next destination. I would suggest you do a jeep safari as you can explore a large part of the forest in limited time. You can try elephant safari in other forests where the chance of spotting wildlife is less. The chance of sighting a tiger in the wild depends on tiger density and not necessarily on the number of tigers. Tiger density means the number of tigers per unit area of the forest. Bandhavgarh and some of the other forests in this tour have one of the highest tiger densities among all other forests in India. Always book safaris in core zones of the forest. I have already mentioned the core zones in this video for all the forests. The booking of safaris open 120 days in advance online. Book the safaris in advance yourself through the official government website forest.mponline.gov.in or You may book the safaris through an authorized travel agent as well. Carry safari permits and ID cards with you during the safari, as these are checked before the entry into the forest. For your own safety, do not come down from the jeep in the forest unless your guide allows it. For better chances of spotting wild animals, wear dull clothes, keep quiet, and do not use perfumes. If you see wild animals, never tease them. Following these increases the chances of spotting wild animals. But I want to stress upon the fact that do not expect confirmed sighting of wild animals in any forests. It's the home of the wild animals, and it is up to their will whether they will turn up or not. Enjoy the sights, sounds, smells, and the beauty of the forest. If luck favors on that trip, you might spot wild animals or tigers, and do not expect that sighting of wild animals is confirmed. I saw tigers after doing safaris in 10 different forests in India, including some forests with high tiger density. Where to stay? Always prefer staying in government hotels, which you can book online as well. It's great to stay near the forest gates, and it will help in early morning safaris. Make sure the hotel includes meal plans as well, as it might be difficult to find restaurants near the forests. You may opt for inexpensive hotels in Jabalpur and Nagpur. When to visit? This is very important, fellow travelers. Plan your travel according to your needs. If you want to see birds, travel from mid-October to January. If you want to spot wild animals, travel between early February till early March, because wild animals come out in the open to sunbathe. Remember, jungle safaris are closed from July till October. If you want to see the dance festival in Khajuraho, travel in February, but remember that the light and sound show will remain closed during that time. There is nothing very special to buy or collect in this trip, but I still want to mention two things. You may buy marble artifacts from Bandhavgarh. You may bargain here for a good price. You may buy jackets with pug marks as designs or other small souvenirs from government-owned fixed-price shops inside the forests. This tour is all about thrilling experiences. Try staying in a cottage in the wilderness. Most government hotels and some good private hotels are there near the forest entry gates. You can experience the wilderness of the forest at night times here. Do not worry, it's safe. Also, keep your eyes and ears open while in the safari. Try to recognize on record the sounds of peacock, barking deer, and monkeys that may indicate presence of tigers nearby. You may not see tigers, but the wild animals can. These alarm calls are usually short and intense sounds. Time for some traveler tips. Summers can be hot here, and hence avoid peak summers. It's uncomfortable and chance of spotting wild animals is also less. Also, early morning safaris can be chilling cold in winters. Carry a light jacket. This trip involves a lot of road travel, and hence I would recommend you to book a comfortable car for the entire trip from Satna till Jabalpur. If you are new to wildlife photography, remember, never use a flash in front of wild animals. Please let me know in the comment box if you want a detailed video on travel photography. Friends and followers, that's it for today. I hope today's video was helpful. If yes, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. See you in an upcoming travel video, and thanks for watching.